Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. There are many nonprofits out there that all do good work, but they all need money, and sometimes they need money more at certain times of the year than others. And right now, one of those organizations that really does terrific work is Crisis Connection, and they are needing some money. They need your help. Joining me in the studio is Paula Rasche. Paula is the Executive Director for Crisis Connection. And Paula, to start off with, let's talk about what Crisis Connection is, what you do, and what you serve, so people get an idea of what Crisis Connection is if they don't already know.
Okay. We are a nonprofit, as you mentioned, that provides services to 8 counties in southern Indiana. We have a physical presence in 5 of those counties, Du Bois, Pike, Davies, Perry, and Spencer. The services we provide are geared towards domestic violence and sexual assault victims. Those services can be accessed 24 hours a day. We have someone on call 24 hours a day and can be accessed through the emergency hotline. We also have regular business hours Monday through Friday. And we're there. Some people call us directly, some are referred by law enforcement, medical professionals, other service providers. So, we have victims reaching out directly to us, and some are helped with other service providers as well. In addition to that direct service that we provide, we also are out there in the communities providing community education, helping our communities better understand the issues that we're dealing with. We're also working hard in recent years on trying to prevent the violence from ever occurring.
Right.
And that activity, we're partnering with a lot of the schools and community organizations, trying to do a better job of getting ahead of the issue and empowering teens, young people with knowledge about what those good relationships look like versus the unhealthy relationships that result in violence. Lots of activities. We provide court advocacy, meaning we can assist with protective orders and accompany individuals to court appearances. We do one-on-one educational counseling, just helping people develop safety plans for themselves. We see people in all stages of crisis. Some people have already left the situation, some are contemplating it. So, depending on the moment that person seeking out services is in, we adapt what we provide to them.
Well, and like you mentioned, you do all stages of the crisis. So, you are helping people who right now have to get out of a situation. They can call and you can get them to go to the right places to go and help them out.
Yes.
But you're trying to put yourself out of business, which is a good thing,
yes.
in that you're trying to get people not to even start that cycle or to break that cycle early. And sometimes it may be, I may not be involved in a domestic abuse situation, but I know someone who is, so I'm finding out ways that I can help through Crisis Connection as well. Now you do this great work, but it takes money.
Yes.
And you're kind of in an odd situation in that your money also comes through federal and state money, so that funnel's different, and you don't always get that money when you need it. It takes a long time for that turnaround. So there are times of the year, I guess, then that you're in a crisis for money because you need to get it to cycle through. And that's where you are right now. You're trying to get money to sustain yourselves.
Yes, exactly. I think myself and the board identified, it's been a little over a month and a half, being the new executive director, I can play that card for a while. The strategy is changing a little bit. Historically, we've been able to, we do a letter campaign annually towards the end of the year, and we've also had an annual event, typically in the fall during Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And between those two activities, we've been able to make the cash flow evenly. A couple years ago, the agency grew a little bit, and the cash reserves didn't grow compared to the increase in the funds that we were receiving from our federal and state funders. So because of that, it's been more difficult in the last couple years. So
now you need some money to help sustain yourselves.
Yes.
You have money to pay the bills. It's not like your funding is a problem, but the funding is at the wrong time.
Yes.
But if you had more funding, you could do more work.
Exactly.
So that's not a bad thing either.
Yeah.
So you're doing this Project Sustain.
Yes.
And how can people make donations? What should they do? How can they help?
How can they help? There is an option on our website. People can donate. There's an option to electronically donate on our website, which is www.crisisconnectioninc.org.
Okay.
That's our website. They can also mail information, mail checks to us, or they can contact the agency to find out the best avenue to do so.
And how much money are you needing?
The amount sounds like a crazy large amount. Our goal is to reach $200,000. And essentially that, in the last year, we waited up to 5 months for reimbursement from our funding sources, but on average about 94 days. So that $200,000 is essentially 3 to 4 months of operating expenses. And that would allow us to operate without interruption. And so far we haven't had any interruption in services. However, there are things that get put on the back burner that no nonprofit wants to do but has to do. No local business would want to make the decisions we've had to make. You put off employee development and the training. You put off, and there is an extra money to do things to reward the employees like a normal employer would. Plus, there's little things like, oh, do we buy paper this week?
Yeah.
Or again, putting off training. There's lots of free training opportunities that are available to us, but gas money to get there is limited. So, I mean, to put it in perspective, yes, we're surviving, but we're not thriving. And I think in order for us to make a dent in the issues that we want to put ourselves out of business, we need our staff to be fully trained. We shouldn't have to worry about day-to-day operations. So therefore, we've set this lofty goal of developing this pool of cash that we can use, and it's not going to be used for anything other than to sustain us through the allocations that we receive from our funding source.
It's unfortunate that your system has to exist, but it is. And there is domestic violence, and I hate to say it, but there probably always is going to be some degree of domestic violence.
Yeah.
But you are right there on the front lines, because you are receiving a call from a woman, I guess, or a man, or a child, or a neighbor who sees domestic violence or is a victim of domestic violence, and they need help right then. And this is not something this is life or death for some people. And so your work is really important. And if somebody's going, well, I'd like to help, but I only have $10. Okay, well, $10 is important. But if you're a company and you can give much more than that, that's important as well. It's a great cause. And again, probably the best thing maybe just to contact you and say, I'd like to make a donation. What can I do?
And that's great. We've been sending out letters and following up with phone calls, and we've had some awesome conversations with potential donors and suggestions, and so it's a two-way street. Not only are we looking for support monetarily, but ongoing support. And the more people invest in understanding the issue at hand, so I do encourage people to contact us and be happy to talk with them about our needs.
Okay, so make sure that you call Paula to find out how you can help. All right, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Not at this time. I mean,
help us out.
Yeah, help us out. It's a community health issue. That affects, there's students, neighbors, employees, employers, that are affected by these issues. And, to get ahead of it, hurt people, and we want to stop the hurting, essentially.
All right, well, make sure that you can help Crisis Connection. Give Paula a call or contact Crisis Connection through their website. That's one of the easiest ways probably to do it. All right, thank you very much. Our guest has been Paula Rasche. She's the Executive Director for Crisis Connection. Project Sustain is ongoing right now. See what you can do to help Crisis Connection. Thank you for watching WJTS in.form. We are local people watching local people.